Well, good evening once again. We begin with a rape investigation here in Erie County that is sparking a larger debate about safety and community.
Jesus Guzman Bermudez, a Venezuelan native, is being held behind bars accused of raping his partner in a Cheektowaga hotel. Prosecutors say this happened Wednesday night while the couple's 3-year-old child was in the room.
They have charged Guzman Bermudez with rape, unlawful imprisonment, and child endangerment. Officials say the family are asylum seekers staying in the hotel with others from South America. Prosecutors say this is the 4th asylum seeker arrested of more than 500 in Erie County.
Now, the suspect's immigration status reigniting the debate over welcoming asylum seekers in Western New York. Erie is currently the only county in our region housing families. All other counties ordered states of emergency, barring organizations or hotels from accepting asylum seekers.
Now, we know there are a lot of opinions around a topic like this, and that's why we want to talk you around the full issue, offering you a variety of perspectives.
Yes, so many questions, and tonight you will hear from Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz calling for deportation if the suspect is convicted. His opponent for this year's executive race calling asylum seekers in Erie County a crisis. An immigration attorney weighing in on what could happen next, but we begin with District Attorney John Flynn, who tells 7 News reporter Krista Moran justice will be served.
26-year-old Jesus Guzman Bermudez is charged with raping a woman that prosecutors say he knows.
Even though that they, like I said, that they were a couple, it still can be rape, obviously, if the facts warrant. And so he was arrested. He was arraigned late Friday morning.
Erie County District Attorney John Flynn says it happened Wednesday in a hotel near the airport on Genesee Street. Flynn said it allegedly happened in front of the couple's 3-year-old child.
It's very concerning, and obviously that's why I added on a charge of endangering the welfare of a child. That that obviously this is unacceptable. And he's going to be, held accountable for his actions.
Flynn says both Guzman Bermudez and the female victim came to Western New York together seeking asylum. When the incident happened, Flynn says the victim contacted a caseworker. Cheektowaga police then stepped in.
And it's also important to note, too, that these two knew one another. They were a couple. It's not like this guy went out in town, and grabbed someone, brought him back to the hotel. That's not what happened here.
The allegations now stirring up debate among Western New York political leaders.
Make no mistake, this is going to get worse.
Chrissy Casilio, the Republican candidate for Erie County Executive, says asylum seekers in our area is an issue that voters are talking to her about.
They are infuriated with the situation and are even less satisfied with how secretive the entire process has been.
I requested an on-camera interview with her opponent, Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz. I was told he was unavailable and was sent this statement reading in part, "Any asylum seeker who shatters the sacred trust placed in them by violating the law, including against a fellow asylum seeker, as in this matter, should be swiftly prosecuted and deported after they are punished for their crimes." Flynn says out of the more than 500 asylum seekers that are staying in hotels near the airport, 4 have been charged with crimes, and this case is the most recent.
It's not a matter that needs to be inflamed in the sense that you have this individual who is, going out in town, and raping and pillaging. That's not what happened here.
Flynn also tells me if Guzman Bermudez is found guilty, he could face up to 25 years in prison and possibly get deported. Right now, there is going to be a felony hearing Wednesday morning in the Cheektowaga Town Court. Guzman Bermudez is currently being held without bail. In Cheektowaga, Krista Moran, 7 News.
Kristen, thank you for looking into that. We also wanted to find out what happens next for this asylum seeker accused of rape. Well, I spoke with an immigration attorney at Colgan Law today, and he tells me in situations like this, once a suspect is in custody, state authorities are supposed to notify Immigrations and Customs Enforcement.
And then Immigration and Customs Enforcement places an immigration hold on them to preclude the state authorities from releasing him from custody upon conclusion of the criminal charges and the sentence that is imposed. Then they would have the power and the authority and the obligation to institute removal proceedings against him if he's been convicted of a crime which violates the laws of the United States, and rape clearly does that.
And if he is convicted, he will be deported.
He will likely be deported with a very high degree of certainty. He will be ineligible for asylum.
That's Matthew Colkin with Colkin Law, and he also tells me it's important to remember in the U.S. people are presumed innocent until proven guilty, and he points out that applies to citizens and non-citizens alike. Well, both Kristen and I also called Dr. Myron Glick from Jericho Road for an update on the situation, and when we spoke with him last month, he told us New York State pays a company called DocGo to help migrants access things like housing and food. Well, that company, we're told, subcontracts local agencies like Jericho Road to handle case management. Well, we want to know when and how these migrants will be moved from hotels and given job training or placement, and so far we have not heard back from him. But in the meantime, on WKBW.com, you can find full interviews from the voices that we did speak with today and the latest on the investigation that we will continue to follow.